How long do the characters stay in your head?
Do they ever leave?
Have you also given any thought to not turning into an insufferable brat?
People seem to think I know what I'm doing, and they're very wrong. I still feel like I'm trying to figure out what I should do with my life.
I hope I don't become like that.
Bloody hell.
Christian Bale was recently arrested.
You know, it's a deeply personal matter.
And as you can see, they're pushing Christian here.
This kind of treatment, I do not feel represents the people. My expectations were that it was going to be a very
Just leaving.
dark psychological analysis of a serial killer.
And he said, oh my God, Christian Bale is incredible.
Everyone had that reaction. And the crew and all of us fell in love with Christian.
The one that immediately coming to mind is American Psycho. It's a funny movie if you're a sick bastard like I am.
There were protests by organizations such as the National Organization for Women. The book was called Misogynistic and Cynical.
Ugly.
My favorite actor is Christian Bale, the Big Show!
Christian lives in Bournemouth, England, and he has taken some time off from school today to talk to us from London.
And I think the problem here is that Christian Bale is not an American. He is British, okay? In fact, he's so British, his hometown is Haverfordwest, Pembrokeshire.
He was born Christian Charles Philip Bale on the 30th of January 1974 in Wales. His father was a commercial pilot, his mother a circus dancer. Comedian Rowan Atkinson co-starred with him on stage for Christian's acting debut.
13 years old, you played Yum Yum.
Younger than that. I think I was 11.
Staccato!
He was 13 when he won his first starring role in the film Empire of the Sun.
Very soft, very shy. This is your last surrender.
For the first time, Shanghai recently opened her doors to a major Hollywood production. Empire of the Sun is directed by Steven Spielberg, one of America's foremost filmmakers.
I don't know if you know this, but it's 30 years since this film.
I had no clue that it's been 30 years since then. That's astonishing.
What do you remember being on the set?
It was just such an amazing experience.
What would you tell young you? Like, it's gonna be fine, I rule. Like, don't worry, young Christian Bale, old Christian Bale's gonna be awesome.
You know what, it depends what mood you find me in. Yesterday I quit acting. Today I'm going, maybe I'll keep doing it. I wrestle with this. I'm addicted to it.
New card. What do you think? In many ways, in the same way that people were telling me, hey, you can't go play Patrick Bateman, it's career suicide. I will kill you. And I was like, bring it on. I definitely want to do that.
Whenever I say that Leonardo DiCaprio was a great actor, and you know, sure, it was an interesting idea, but they always like cut me off and say, well, I think Christian Bale is the ideal Patrick Bateman.
Keep your eyes open.
How do you feel about all the controversy surrounding the movie with the violence and sex and the rape?
I think that probably the movie will clarify that for a lot of people because, you know, you see the movie and it's violent in tone rather than in any sort of explicit detail.
You know, there's things I lost, there's scenes that aren't there, there's things I would go back and reshoot.
How did that happen? I mean, the studio looked at it and said...
Yeah, I mean, one thing that, Lionsgate and I had our battles over casting, but they were fantastic about content. And really, I think if I tried to do this for a Hollywood studio, well, it would never have made it to the screen.
Christian Bale, everyone knows Christian Bale, he's spilling some tea about Leonardo DiCaprio. In a rare interview with GQ, he revealed that Leo gets first dibs on all jobs in Hollywood. He says, any role, this is a quote, any role that anybody gets, it's only because Leo has passed on it beforehand.
Interesting thing for me was that there is a great psychological drama that is going on throughout the movie. And it is a hybrid of that with an action piece, basically.
When I was writing, and one of the reasons why I thought, well, this movie couldn't really be made is because of the Trevor's character, the whole weight loss issue.
Let's have a laugh on Trevor!
I knew that it was a Christian Bale movie, and I was waiting 20 minutes for Christian Bale to come on. And then I realized that it was the skinny guy. It was Christian Bale, and I couldn't believe it.
I have to do the part justice, and it's essential that the guy be incredibly gaunt, that he looks very sick, he looks very pale, as though he's headed to, you know, the executioners or something.
You made us f***ing well!
They told me there was nothing out there.
When you put on the costume, did the batsuit give you strength? Because I know if I put on the costume, I would become Batman.
But Christian Bale was recently arrested for apparently assaulting his mom and sister.
Bale spent 4 hours talking to British police Tuesday. He was released on bail but not charged. He said through his lawyers that the assault allegations are false. Star Christian Bale still promoting his new movie, The Dark Knight, but he isn't talking about his arrest in London Tuesday.
You know, it's a deeply personal matter. Ask you to respect my privacy on that subject.
You have to, you know? If you don't become Batman, then you can't play the character.
Every magic trick consists of 3 parts, or acts. The hardest part. The part we call the prestige.
Okay, wow, congratulations. This is a brilliant film. And honestly, Christopher, I don't know how you keep topping yourself. What's your secret?
Gosh, well, thank you. My secret is simply that I take on every film as if it's the last film I get to make.
To me, there's always a certain element of comedy to it, you know? I mean, deadpan, but I like the kind of magicians, and I think they like it to be referred to as, you know, as an art.
I'm still his trainer. Where'd you f***ing park the car, boo-boo?
Loyalty, you know, loyalty amongst family members, at what point that's wonderful and at what point that becomes absolutely self-destructive.
They're gonna train, they gotta go. Why am I the problem? I'm his blood, I'm his family!
And the Oscar goes to Christian Bale, the fighter.
Bloody hell. Wow. What a room full of talented and inspirational people, and what the hell am I doing here?
If you make yourself more than just a man.
Do you think he's coming back?
You know, there's a great character here. There's just nothing to be lazy about. There's a boy, there's a man here who has put his own life on hold, who's driven by this great pain and desire for revenge and wish for purposefulness and usefulness in his life.
You never took a quarter from a phone booth. You stole. I just got bigger balls than you.
Good times, bad times, you know I've had my share.
The real guy who my character is very loosely based upon.
I'm in and I'm out. I was there the whole time. You don't know it.
I just became obsessed with that look and said I've got to try to achieve that.
He's heard of that. The housing market collapsed nationwide.
So engaging, so fascinating, in so many different ways.
Dr. Mike Burry, yes he does. That's a fucking terrible cop. Sir.
That don't work, we're nastier.
We're gonna make history.
I'd love to say, oh, Matt and me did all our own driving. That would sound good, wouldn't it? But I had to keep reminding myself, I'm acting as though I know what I'm doing. I'm not really doing it. And we had some of the best racers and drivers in the world. If we had been doing the driving, those racing sequences would not have been nearly as exciting or exciting at all.
If a movie works, you end up feeling a lot of gratitude for all the people who worked on it, because it's hard work.
How long do the characters stay in your head?
Do they ever leave? I don't know, really, you know?
What's it like, I mean, after all the attention from the media and everything, what's it like to be back home?
I don't find it too difficult. It's okay. I mean, I really enjoy being at the premiere, and I mean, I quite liked all the cameras, but I'm quite happy just to relax at home at the moment.
What has been the reaction of your family and of your friends to this kind of success?
They haven't changed at all towards me, which is great. I mean, obviously my family are really pleased for me. And my friends, they think it's great as well. I mean, but they don't, like, treat me as a film star or anything. They just treat me as they did before.
That seemed like a ridiculous challenge, and I love ridiculous challenges.
How much weight did you lose for The Machinist?
63 pounds.
And how much did you gain back for this?
I went up 100 pounds.
Be able to do a lot of actors when you start working with them, they'll say they're going to lose a bit of weight for the part or whatever, and the wardrobe people will kind of roll their eyes and go, yeah, sure, because they very often don't. And I had to warn the wardrobe people on this film that he was actually going to do what he said he was going to do.
It really was. It was a very tight schedule, but I just about managed it before we started filming.
Christian was the first actor I met with, actually. And it was clear to me, looking into his eyes, that this is somebody who can make you believe in the possibility of somebody devoting their life to something this extreme.
Sorbet? He's one of those incredibly immersive method actors who will give everything to a role, but then he won't play the star game. I think people are intrigued by Christian Bale. I think he has a huge following. He's a sex symbol of sorts, albeit a very intelligent and dark one. But at the same time, there's a mystery to him that really keeps him attractive to audiences.
And obviously, most important of all, my lovely wife right there. Any man would just be lucky as hell to be married to someone like her. And my little girl, where's the camera I can look at for her? She's sitting at home. I love you, darling. This one's for you.
It's a love-hate thing. And it's a love-hate thing for me because of coming from a place where it was actually a responsibility at a young age, because, you know, for my family, it was just such an unfathomable amount of sudden cash that you could get for doing it that I went, yeah, well, even though I don't really feel like doing it, I can't really live with myself for not, because it helps my family so much, you know.
One of the things that I thought was really interesting is when you mentioned that you're still driving at Tacoma. I mean, is there a reason?
Why is that interesting?
Well, because
I'll tell you why he's still driving that.
Please.
Because he's hoping that he can put a motorcycle in the flatbed.
I've been banned. I've been banned from my motorcycles,
Yeah.
but I'm hoping that one day I'll be able to put, yeah.
Why is he doing this? Is there a reason that you get out of bed to go act every when you do?
Because when it's good, it's really good, and when it's not, I hate it. The films where people go, yeah, there's a big chance that this is going to go south, and I tend to go, that's the one I want to do then. And they tend to be the ones that either really fucking go south, or wow, that really surprised everybody and came out with something, you know, very different. Before I made The Machinist, I've made a few films that I really thought, oh my God, what have I done, you know? And then The Machinist came up, and so very much for me, it was a mental discipline. You can't allow anything else in, and there is such a thrill to doing that. You know, that's why it's so hypnotic. So despite the fact that to everybody else's eyes, I was dangerously skinny and possibly, potentially doing myself great damage, I was actually saying, I think I failed to achieve the look I was originally going for. Looking back in retrospect, I think that's nuts. I think that I became incredibly obsessive, and what the hell was I thinking?
I'm not laughing.
I became obsessed about it, and that was interesting in itself.
Unfortunately, I didn't do it under any kind of doctor's monitoring, and so I'm loath to give advice because what if it goes wrong for somebody else? But, you know, there's really not much of a secret to it. You eat less, you do more, you know, and however extreme you take that, the more skinny you're gonna become.
Know your limits, Master Wayne.
That man has no limits.
Well, you do, sir.
I've never had a single director actually ask me to do any of this stuff. Everyone's kind of gone, well, we can probably do it with a bit of makeup, with a bit of prosthetics, we can do it. And then they discover I'm really doing it myself. And they've always gone, are you okay doing that? You know, So I've never actually had anybody say, you have to get to this place. It's always been me who said, I have to get to that place.
Just get it in your head, and you just go, I need to. That's what I need to do. I don't know how to play that part without looking that way.
And if I'm going to do it, if I'm going to take the time to do it, then I want to do it in as much of an immersive way as possible.
I admire immersion very much. But I'm not going to take that to stupid lengths. I'm not going to do it for the sake of it. It's only worth it if it's for telling a really great story. And whether other people agree with me or not, I kind of don't mind, because I know that I'm making a movie that I would really want to see.
Before I do all the scenes, I just think of what I've been through and all that, and just try and put myself in the character's shoes, so you become the character.
You've got to just say to yourself, do I think it's good? Do I think I've done a good job on this? And that's it. And that I get my satisfaction from working on it right here, right now.